Mark Wahlberg gave me a piece of advice years and years and years ago before we'd worked together, and he said to me on a chat show that I should move to LA with all my boys and get a license. And the best piece of advice was from my mum, who said, "Don't do that." And I didn't do that. And if Hi, William, how are you?
Doing well. Good to see you again.
Good, thanks. Oh, sorry, that's not what you said. I'm tired. I'm just waking up. Sorry.
First time we ever talked was like 2017, and it was like your first press tour ever, and you were so tired. So I can only imagine you're full of energy after the 5 years you've had.
I've just been doing press tours since 2017. It's been a non-stop press tour. So I'm all over the place.
I'll try to ask you questions you've been asked only 10 times today. We'll do our best. Okay, perfect. So, okay. Have you learned to say no yet? Like, was there a moment that you felt with Uncharted that you push yourself too far, or do you find like you found your boundary?
It's about having respect for yourself, but also making sure that people respect you. And that is giving the studio confidence that in your capabilities, but also in your work ethic, to understand that when you're asking for a break, it's for no other reason than you need it. And I think Sony are well aware of how hard I work and how much I like to push myself. It's more often that it'll be my brother or my security guard, Jack, who will say to the studio, like, "Why don't you make sure he has a 2-day weekend this week because he's going to run out of gas?" So I have sort of learned to say no where it's necessary. But the great thing about working for Sony and Tom Rothman and Ruben and Alex and Chuck, our producers, is that if I say, "Guys, I need a break," it is genuinely because I need a break. And that's because they know how hard I like to work.
Where did you feel most tested here?
I think there's two ways I felt most tested. The stunts were incredibly hard, just because I've been so used to the Spider-Man, world where, you have an element of this safety blanket where you can rely on CGI. Whereas in this film, that is not so much the case. But where I really struggled was I've been playing this kind of happy-go-lucky, innocent teenager for so long. And Nathan Drake is supposed to be this young, confident, strong, sort of 25-year-old, which is not really what I'm like in real life. So for me to embody that character was quite daunting. And at times, I felt like I was faking it. So for me, that was the hardest part, but something I'm pretty confident I got right.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, like, this is also a role. I mean, you said like, if I hit 30 and I'm doing Spider-Man, something's wrong. If this is a role that you can really grow into, like, do you see yourself, okay, I could do the Nathan Drake until I'm 50?
That quote, I think, has been slightly misconstrued. What I basically was trying to say is that if I am 30 still playing Spider-Man and I haven't passed on the baton to a Miles Morales or a Spider-Woman or something more diverse, then I will have done something wrong in the sense of the sort of duties I have to the character. Not that, like, if I'm playing Spider-Man in my 30s, I'm like some washed-up has-been. That's not what I was saying at all.
Only making billion-dollar movies every year now.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, I could see myself playing this character into my 30s. I'm very confident in the films and the project's capabilities to succeed, and I think we have a really special bit of material on our hands.
What's the best piece of advice that Mark Wahlberg gave you?
Mark Wahlberg gave me a piece of advice years and years and years ago before we'd worked together, and he said to me on a chat show that I should move to LA with all my boys and get a license. And the best piece of advice was from my mum, who said, "Don't do that." And I didn't do that.
I won't be able to air that on Middle East TV, but I appreciate the candor. All right, thanks, buddy. Great talking to you. And if